name is Chanel Jolly Marshall, and I am from Buffalo, New York by way of ATL. I am a breast cancer fighter. I first learned about the condition earlier this year in 2010. Actually, I was at my OBGYN for a routine checkup, and she found a mass in my right breast. And so I have a history of cystic breast, but it felt a little different. So I decided to go and have it checked out, and it ended up being atypical hyperplasia, which is when the cells start to form cancer. And so I ended up having a lumpectomy in March of this year, so it was only a few months ago, and yeah, that's how I found out. It's very scary, especially since I lost my aunt to breast cancer a few years ago, and so it's already a hypersensitive subject in our family. So I wanted to get this out of me as soon as I could. So I scheduled the surgery, and it was at a very trying time in life. I was getting laid off from my job and broke as a joke and everything else, but I have the strongest support system that I could ever have, and friends and family, and they helped me pay for my surgery and everything, and so far so good. It's definitely a scary situation. I love telling my story because it's a story of early detection. So I'm grateful that I didn't have to go through any chemo or anything that was long and drawn out because I caught it so soon. So I'm able to, just live normally, and I just have to keep a watch on it, and I actually have to go next week to make sure that nothing came back and all those things. But I really like to tell my story because I was 25 at the time. I'm 26 now, and that's very young. And I know a lot of my peers don't think that breast cancer can affect them, but breast cancer does not see race. Breast cancer does not see age. It doesn't even see gender, because there are plenty of males who unfortunately have breast cancer as well. But definitely I love to tell my story because you have to check yourself. You have to tell other people to check themselves. It's so important. It's something that we don't have to die from. Well, fortunately, the surgery was enough to get that mass out. It was a mass about this size in my right breast, and the surgeon was able to go around and get that mass and then the area around it, in hopes that, no stray, cancer cells got out there. But I was able to just have a surgery, and hopefully, all is still well. Like I said, I'll find out next week if the mass has come back or if it's still okay. Well, I mean, the whole situation can be very trying because, being that it's affecting your breast, it kind of taps into your womanhood, if you will. This is, one of your parts that make you a woman. And so when, you have a defective part, it kind of, in a way, weighs on, your womanliness, if you will. And I mean, just having the surgery, the recovery process, I was very sore and it was painful. I had to have a lot of help, but I was able to have help, and I just don't know how to say how grateful I am for, starting to tear up, my family and friends who were really, really there for me. So my Aunt Ree, we called her Aunt Ree, she passed at the age of 41, and wow, it was definitely not something you never expect somebody to go, especially somebody that you were close with and whatnot. But unfortunately, God took her home, and she did pass away from breast cancer. And she fought. She really, really did. And but we don't run the show, God does. So but I feel like she really, really fought, and she was such a beautiful, sweet, peaceful woman, and I really do this in the name of her. because I'm here to tell her story and my story. Like I said, cancer does not play. You know, you really do have to take care of your body. It definitely sent me to the healthier side of life. I was always semi-healthy, but it made me start running, and I do not run, believe me. And, you know, just making sure that I, you know, vary my diet, I cut out a lot of things, just because all of those factors, you know, come into play when you're talking about your body and health and cancer. And, you know, you hear all of these studies and propaganda and everything causes cancer. You know, everything causes cancer, but it's just about living a healthy lifestyle and just making sure that you stay in tune with your body. And that means, you know, doing your breast exams, and I have a little thing in my shower that, you know, shows you how to do a proper breast exam, and I actually got that from my mom. So it's really about staying in tune with your body and making sure that you are at your optimum state. I come from a family of very strong women, so we don't fall apart over things. And it's not like, oh Lord, or anything like that. They were very strong, and, you know, pretty much whatever you need, let me know, and it'll be handled. So I really felt uplifted in this time, and I still feel uplifted in this time because, I mean, it's still something you have to watch. And, you know, I have breast pain quite often, so it kind of, you know, it's kind of a reminder, if you will, that something was in there, is in there, whatever. But it doesn't, nothing is a death sentence. I just want that to be a real message. You have to be a fighter. Life is hard enough, you just have to fight anyway. And you have to smile while you're fighting. You have to keep a positive attitude, even when it's scary, and even when you want to cry and all of those things, which I did plenty of times. But at the end of the day, I know that I'm covered, you know, by family and friends, and I know that God has a plan for me. And I don't think anything happens for no reason. This happened for a reason, to show me something, to show somebody else something. But yeah, I just hope that my story can help somebody, in the sense that, you know, early detection and just keeping yourself in tune with your body is very, very key. I am lovely. I am working like a dog. I'm in graduate school. I have started a business. I keep it moving. I definitely am not a person to stop or let anything stop me. And I definitely got that from my mom and the women in my family. We just keep it moving anyway. There are definitely days where I don't feel well at all, but I get up and go to work, and I do my schoolwork, and I turn in those assignments on time and everything, because you really don't want to dwell. And I feel like there's an emotional aspect that that links to stress, that links to, you know, things coming back. And I really want to fight any, you know, negative energy that could come my way. So just try to stay zen and centered, and just keep a positive outlook on life. I want to save the world is what I want to do with my life. But I actually am in graduate school for marriage and family therapy, and my ultimate goal is to be a sex therapist and work with issues on sexuality, and which ties into my business, which is entitled Jolly Co. And it essentially is a business based on sex education for adults. And the idea is to have people achieve sexual freedom and sexual responsibility through comprehensive knowledge. So the kind of saying, if you know better, you do better. This is so awesome. The PinkReveal is so awesome. My sister actually told me about it, and she finds out about all kinds of things. So she told me about it, and I contacted Saint, and yeah, it just was on from there. And I think this is a brilliant, fabulous idea, and it's so important. It's so important to spread the message any way possible, through fashion, through music, through lecture, through anything. Women, and I mean everybody, not just women, everyone needs to know the importance of breast cancer awareness and the importance of being healthy, and I just think this is such a blessing, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. I'm grateful that I was able to share a little bit and get checked. Tell a friend, tell a mama, tell a cousin, tell everybody. You have to stay on top of your body. You have to stay in tune. So that's all I have to say.